A Psychology Mental Health Website Guide at mindremakeproject.org. 1. Chapter 1. Psychology Mental Health Websites. Mental health articles at mindremakeproject.org and mindremakeproject.org/all-topics. Many articles. Facebook.com/mindremakeproject blog. Pinterest.com/mindremakeproject. Here is a partial list. Mental illness, addiction, and recovery. Psychology and human behavior. Wellness. Personal and professional development. Clinical counseling and supervision. Resources. Mental illness, addiction, and recovery. 9 myths and misconceptions about mental illness. 12-step recovery groups. 15 common misconceptions about addiction. 18 best TED Talks for addiction and recovery. 40 disturbing posts about mental illness on Quora. Alcarel, a hangover-free alternative to alcohol. Guest post, my experience with depression. Guest post, remaking your mind. Guest post, the toll diabetes takes on my mental health. Helping vs. Enabling, how to tell the difference. Interview, breakfast beers, bloating, and blackouts. Interview, substance abuse counseling. Kratom, a safe alternative to heroin. Self-care strategies when your loved one has an addiction. Stigmatizing language and what to say instead. Where can I find help? Why language matters, 4 words/phrases to stop saying. Psychology and human behavior. 3 reasons we keep toxic people in our lives. 4 key statements that may change your life. 4 strategies for better decision making. 5 recent research findings on health and human behavior. 8 types of liars. 12 examples of microaggressions that target LGBTQ+ individuals' boundaries, thoughts on building and maintaining good fences. How to deal with rude co-workers. How to spot fake news. Marketing tactic traps, how advertisers use psychology to sway. Political affiliation and personality. The psychology of motivation. Rape culture in America. What counseling taught me, Part 1. What counseling taught me, Part 2. Why playing hardball doesn't work, how to use basic counseling skills for the best customer service. Wellness. 5 instant mood boosters. 8 fast-acting strategies for stress relief. 12 top free apps for meditation. Feed your mood. The link between diet and mental health. Free coloring pages for adults. Guest post, how to stay in shape during the lockdown. Guest post, you don't have to exercise. Interview, we only get one body in life. Sleep deprivation, what dreams may cure. Personal and professional development. 11 self-care ideas you may not have considered. 17 self-care ideas for mental health professionals. 19 unique ways to be more charitable. 25 journal prompts for self-discovery. 25 top therapist recommended books. 30 30-day challenges. 37 things you can do for a more meaningful life. 161 questions to explore values, ideas, and beliefs. 350 ideas for hobbies. Daily self-inventory for mental health professionals. Developing self-confidence. From survival to endurance to fulfillment, how I found meaning in life. Guest post, how to develop a happiness mindset. Professional development for counselors. Therapist bucket list. Unconventional coping strategies. Clinical counseling and supervision. 20 check-in ideas for therapy sessions. Characteristics of an effective clinical supervisor. Characteristics of an effective therapist. A list of mental health websites at mindremakeproject.org/2018/07/23/mental-health-wellness-and-personal-development-blogs-to-follow. ScienceDaily.com/rss/mind_brain.xml. ScienceDaily.com. Counseling.org/news/ACA-blog/ACA-counseling-corner, ACA Counseling Corner blog, thoughtful ideas, suggestions, and strategies for helping you to live a happier and healthier life. aimhypnotherapy.com/blog, AIM Hypnotherapy and Counseling blog, a blog by therapist Agan Larkey about anxiety, addiction, stress, and related topics. anxietyfreeworldblog.com, Anxiety Free World blog, a mental health blog about coping with anxiety, by a writer with anxiety. braveoverperfect.com/blog-home, Brave Over Perfect, a blog about personal growth topics by Dr. Christine Carter and Susie Reinhardt. janaberson.wordpress.com, Jana Berson's blog, a blog created to help people better understand the medication-assisted treatment of opioid addiction. drsarahmckay.com/blog, Your Brain Health, a blog about topics related to mental health and neurology by Dr. Sarah McKay, a neuroscientist. beyondmeds.com, Everything Matters, Beyond Meds, an award-winning mental health blog on topics related to psychotropics and mental illness by Monica Cassani, ex-patient and mental health professional. blog.drsarahravin.com, Dr. Sarah Ravin, a professional blog about psychological issues and evidence-based treatments by Dr. Ravin, a licensed psychologist. blog.samhsa.gov, SAMHSA blog, a place where up-to-date information including articles from SAMHSA staff, announcements of new programs, links to reports, grant opportunities, and ways to connect to other resources are located. blunt-therapy.com, blunt therapy advice, and analysis from a licensed therapist who's been there. brenebrown.com/blog, Breen Brown blog, a personal growth and development blog. davidhealy.org/blog, David's blog, a pharmacology and mental health blog by Dr. David Healy, psychiatrist, psychopharmacologist, scientist, and author. davidsussman.com, David Sussman, PhD, a blog with resources and inspiration for better mental health by Dr. Sussman, clinical psychologist, mental health advocate, professor. douglascoody.com, A Splintered Mind, a blog by Douglas Coody about overcoming ADHD and depression with lots of humor and attitude. drmelissawelby.com/blog, Dr. Melissa Welby, a blog about psychiatry and well-being by Harvard-trained psychiatrist, Dr. Welby. gardeninglove.co.uk, Gardening Love, a unique wellness, ecotherapy, and lifestyle blog about enhancing mental health through gardening. healthyplace.com/blogs, Healthy Place blogs, a page with links to other mental health blogs. infocounseling.com, Info Counseling, evidence-based therapy techniques, a blog by a professional counselor with the latest evidence-based treatments and downloadable therapy worksheets. loveandlifetoolbox.com, Love and Life Toolbox, an award-winning blog about relationships and emotional health by Lisa Brooks-Gift, marriage and family therapist. mindcology.com, Mindcology, a blog with mental health and self-help posts written by psychologists, counselors, and other mental health practitioners. momentusinstitute.org/blog, Momentous Institute blog, a blog dedicated to building and repairing the social-emotional health of children. mqmentalhealth.org/news-blog, MQ News and Blog, a blog about transforming mental health care through research. mybrainsnotbroken.com, My Brain's Not Broken, a blog about personal experience with mental illness and reducing stigma. nami.org/blog/nami-blog, Nami blog, an advocacy blog from the National Alliance on Mental Illness. ourparentplace.com, Our Parent Place, where mental health and parenting meet, a place for parents with mental illness to connect and learn. peteearly.com/blog, Pete Early, advocacy blog for mental health reform. psychcentral.com/about/blogs, Psych Central Network blogs, a list of mental health blogs by experts, professionals, and ordinary people who share their insights on a variety of mental health topics. psychologytoday.com/a/blog/index, Psychology Today blogs, a large collection of blogs on psychology-related topics, including creativity, intelligence, memory, parenting, and more. TheMighty.com, The Mighty, a digital health community created to empower and connect people facing health challenges and disabilities. ThrivingWhileDisabled.com, Thriving While Disabled, a blog about living with a disability. Get lists of mental health websites at the websites at mindremakeproject.org/resources. Adhd.org/living-with-anxiety/ask-and-learn/resources, community resources, ADAA, from the Anxiety and Depression Association of America. cadca.org/resources, find resources, CADCA, an extensive searchable resource list from CADCA, for substance use disorder-related resources. d2l.org/resources, resources for child sexual abuse. discoverandrecover.wordpress.com, Discover and Recover, resources for mental and overall wellness, a blog with tons of resources. hubpages.com/health/free-mental-health-resources, free mental health resources. infocounseling.com/mental-health-resources, mental health resources for therapists and clients. jedfoundation.org/mental-health-resource-center, expert resources from JED and others, resources for teens and young adults. nvf.org/veteran-resources, veteran resources, a resource list from Lifeline for Vets, National Veterans Foundation. power2u.org/links, links to other empowering websites, from the National Empowerment Center. psychcentral.com/resources, mental health and psychology resources online, a list of online resources from Psych Central. selfinjury.bctr.cornell.edu/resources.html, self-injury and recovery research and resources, resources for those who self-injure, their loved ones, students, and health professionals. selfinjury.com/referrals/sites, sites we like, from SAFE. Alternatives, resources related to self-harm. sidran.org/resources, links, Sidran Institute, from the Sidran Institute. socialworklycenzemap.com/mental-health-resources-list, resources. vetoviolence.cdc.gov/resources, resources, Veto Violence, a searchable resource database from Veto Violence, a CDC organization. Meditation apps at mindremake project.org/2021/06/14/top-free-apps-for-meditation. onemindcyberguide.org. pixabay.com/users/ESA-UTM_source=sign link-attribution&UTM_medium=sign referral&UTM_campaign=sign 24052533. pixabay.com/question-UTM_source=sign link-attribution&UTM_campaign=sign image&UTM_campaign=sign 24052533. apps.apple.com/a/com-harm-manages-self-harm/ID 961611581. ptsd.va.gov/appvid/mobile/coach_app.asp. apps.apple.com/a/app/coach/ID 1504705038. huminnovations.org/meditation-app. apps.apple.com/a/app/healthy-minds-programs/ID 1326310617. insidetimer.com/meditation-app. apps.apple.com/a/app/inside-timer-meditation-app/id 337472899. apps.apple.com/a/app/intel-my-mantras/id 13455483736. ptsd.va.gov/appvid/mobile/mindfulcoach_app.asp. apps.apple.com/a/mindfulness-coach/id 804284729. apps.apple.com/ca/app/minds-ft/id 634684825. apps.apple.com/a/minds-ft-cbt-anxiety-relief/id 634684825. My.life. apps.apple.com/a/app/my-life-meditation-mindfulness/id 7788488692. oakmeditation.com. apps.apple.com/a/app/oak-meditation-breathing/id 1210209691. smilingmind.com.au/smiling-mind-app. apps.apple.com/a/app/smiling-mind/id 560442518. apps.apple.com/a/app/the-tapping-solution/id 14198154887. uclahealth.org/mark/ucla-mindful-app. uclahealth.org/mark. apps.apple.com/a/app/ucla-mindful/id 14591289935. Chapter 2. Mental health websites at mindremakeproject.org/resources 1. Mental health websites. doi.org. ScienceDaily.com. ActiveMinds.org, Active Minds. TheAdvocacyAlliance.org, The Advocacy Alliance. AmericanMentalWellness.org, American Mental Wellness Association. GMHFOnline.org, American Association for Geriatric Psychiatry, AAGP. BasicNeeds.org, BC Mental Health and Substance Use Services. BlackDogInstitute.org.au, Black Dog Institute. BringChange2Mind.org, Bring Change to Mind. ChangeDirection.org, Campaign to Change Direction. CMHA.ca, Canadian Mental Health Association. CAMH.ca, Centre for Addiction and Mental Health, CAMH. Dana.org, Dana Foundation supporting neuroscience and brain research. AlternativeMentalHealth.com, Safe Harbor, Alternative Mental Health. FountainHouse.org, Fountain House. FreedomFromFear.org, Freedom from Fear. GivenHour.org, Given Hour. HalfOfUs.com, Half of Us. HCSRN.org/MHRN/N, Mental Health Research Network. HeadsUp.org.au, Heads Up. HealthyPlace.com, Healthy Place. HereToHelp.bc.ca, Here to Help. MadInAmerica.com, Mad in America. Mental-health-matters.com, Mental Health Matters. MentalHealth.gov, MentalHealth.gov. MentalHealthAmerica.net, Mental Health America. MentalHealthCommission.ca/English, Mental Health Commission of Canada. MentalHealthExcellence.org, Foundation for Excellence in Mental Health Care. MentalHelp.net, Mental Help. MHAustralia.org, Mental Health Australia. MHSelfhelp.org, National Mental Health Consumers Self-Help Clearinghouse. Mind.org.uk, Mind UK. Mindfreedom.org, Mind Freedom International. Mindsontheedge.org, Minds on the Edge. Mindiouriad.org.uk, Mind Your Head. Mindyourmind.ca, Mind Your Mind. NAMI.org, National Alliance on Mental Health. NARMH.org, National Association for Rural Mental Health, NARMITE. nhs.uk/using-the-nhs/nhs-services/mental-health-services, NHS Mental Health Services. ensignform.scot/healthy living/mental well-being, NHS Scotland, mental well-being. nimh.nih.gov, National Institute of Mental Health. northeast.net, National Network to Eliminate Disparities in Behavioral Health. nnmh.ca, National Network for Mental Health, Canada. osmehelp.org, Open Sourcing Mental Illness. project375.org, Project 375. psychdb.com/home, psychdb. psychiatryonline.org, Psychiatry Online. psychrehabassociation.org, Psychiatric Rehabilitation Association. rethink.org, Rethink Mental Illness. sane.org, Sane Australia. sashbear.org/n, Sashbear Foundation. superfriend.com.au, Superfriend. talkplus.org.uk, TalkPlus. theicarusproject.net, The Icarus Project. thekennedyforum.org, The Kennedy Forum. wellways.org, Wellways. workplacestraightgiesformentalhealth.com/mmhm/default.html, Managing Mental Health Matters. workplacestraightgiesformentalhealth.com, Workplace Strategies for Mental Health. Multicultural and Minority Mental Health Organizations. American Society Hispanic Psychiatry.com, American Society of Hispanic Psychiatry. AIinfo.org, Asian American Health Initiative. AAPIAonline.org, Asian American Psychological Association. APIHF.org, Asian and Pacific Islander American Health Forum. AsianHealth.org, Asian Health Coalition. AsianMHC.org, Asian Mental Health Collective. BlackMentalHealth.com, Black Mental Health Alliance. HealthyAmericas.org, National Alliance for Hispanic Health. IHS.gov, Indian Health Service. Manmukti.org, Manmukti. mhtdc-network.org/centers/national-hispanic-and-latino-mhtdc/home, National Hispanic and Latino Mental Health Technology Transfer Center, MHTTC, Network. mhtdc-network.org/centers/national-American-Indian-Alaska-Native-MHTDC/home, National American Indian and Native Alaska Mental Health Technology Transfer Center, MHTTC, Network. minorityhealth.hhs.gov, Office of Minority Health. multiculturalmentalhealth.ca/fr/ACUEIL, Multicultural Mental Health Resource Center, CRMSM. napimha.org, National Asian American Pacific Islander Mental Health Association, NAPIMHA. nlbha.org, National Latino Behavioral Health Association. nlpa.ws, National Latinx Psychological Association. northeast.net, the National Network to Eliminate Disparities in Behavioral Health, NNED. samha.org, South Asian Mental Health Alliance. sanamenti.org, Sanament. Addiction and recovery websites. AA.org, Alcoholics Anonymous. AATOD.org, American Association for the Treatment of Opioid Dependence. addictionland.com/index.php, Addictionland. addictionresearch.com, American Foundation for Addiction Research. al-anon.org, Al-Anon Family Groups. assam.org, American Society of Addiction Medicine. attcnetwork.org, Addiction Technology Transfer Center Network. buddhistrecovery.org, Buddhist Recovery Network. cadca.org, Community Anti-Drug Coalitions of America. camh.ca, Center for Addiction and Mental Health, CAMH. casa.unm.edu, Center on Alcoholism, Substance Abuse, and Addictions. CASPR.org, Center for Addiction Services and Personalized Interventions Research. CCSA.ca, Canadian Centre on Substance Use and Addiction. CelebrateRecovery.com, Celebrate Recovery. CenterOnAddiction.org, Center on Addiction. Caesar.umd.edu, Center for Substance Abuse Research. CheckUpandChoices.com, Checkup and Choices. CMCFFC.org, CMC, Foundation for Change. CollegeDrinkingPrevention.gov, College Drinking, Changing the Culture. CPAMM.org, Coalition to Prevent ADHD Medication Misuse. CSAM-SMCA.org, Canadian Society of Addiction Medicine. DrugAbuse.gov, National Institute on Drug Abuse. FacesAndVoicesOfRecovery.org, Faces and Voices of Recovery. FSDP.org, Families for Sensible Drug Policy. GamblingTherapy.org/N, Gambling Therapy. GetSmartAboutDrugs.gov, Get Smart About Drugs. HarmReduction.org, Harm Reduction Coalition. HazeldenBettyFord.org, Hazelden Betty Ford Foundation. Hekao.osu.edu, Higher Education Center for Alcohol and Drug Misuse Prevention and Recovery. HelpingOthersLiveSober.org, Helping Others Live Sober. Moderation.org, Moderation Management. momstell.org/index.php, momstell. Motivationandchange.com, CMC, Center for Motivation and Change. NA.org, Narcotics Anonymous. NACOA.org, National Association for Children of Addiction. NAR-Anon.org, NAR Anon Family Groups. NIA.nih.gov, National Institute on Alcohol Abuse and Alcoholism. Previous.org, Prevention Research Center. psychcongress.com/node/720, Addiction Professional. RecoveryAnswers.org, Recovery Research Institute. RefugeRecovery.org, Refuge Recovery. samhsa.gov, SAMHSA. sharc.org.au, Self-Help Addiction Resource Center, SHARC. Shatterproof.org, Shatterproof. SmartRecovery.org, Smart Recovery. Smokefree.gov, Smoke-Free. StartYourRecovery.org, Start Your Recovery. TheFix.com, The Fix. TreatmentGuide4You.com, 12-step resources for the alcoholic/addict and treatment programs. TResearch.org, Treatment Research Institution. uvic.ca/research/centers/CISUR, Canadian Institute for Substance Use Research. whitehouse.gov/ONCP, Office of National Drug Control Policy. who.in/substance_abuse/N, World Health Organization on Management of Substance Abuse. williamwhitepapers.com, William White Papers. Multicultural and Minority Substance Use Organizations. NAPAFASA.org, National Asian Pacific American Families Against Substance Abuse, NAPAFASA. WhiteBison.org, White Bison. Anxiety and Mood Disorders websites. Adhd.org, Anxiety and Depression. AllAboutDepression.com, All About Depression. Anxieties.com/homepage/index, anxieties.com. AnxietyCanada.com, Anxiety Canada. AnxietyDisordersOntario.ca, Anxiety Disorders Association of Ontario. AnxietyNetwork.com, Anxiety Network. AnxietyUK.org.uk, Anxiety UK. BeadWellness.com, Bipolar Wellness Center. BeyondBlue.org.au, Beyond Blue. ComClinic.com, ComClinic. Kenmat.org, Canadian Network for Mood and Anxiety Treatments. CrestBD.ca, Crest.bd, Bipolar Disorder. DBSAlliance.org, Depression and Bipolar Support Alliance. Depression.org, Depression.org. DepressionAlliance.org, Depression Alliance. DepressionCenter.org, Michigan Medicine Depression Center. DepressionUK.org, Depression UK. HeadsUpGuys.org, Heads Up Guys. IBPF.org, International Bipolar Foundation. ISBD.org, International Society for Bipolar Disorders. MacAnxiety.com, Mac Anxiety Research Center. MDABC.net, Mood Disorders Association of British Columbia. MDSC.ca, Mood Disorders Society of Canada. MoodDisorders.ca, Mood Disorders Association of Ontario. National Social Anxiety Center.com, National Social Anxiety Center. NNDC.org, National Network of Depression Centers. Adhd.ca, Organization for Bipolar Affective Disorders. Revivra.org, Revivra. Sadagi.org, South African Depression and Anxiety Group. Shyness.com, Shyness, sponsored by the Shyness Institute. SocialAnxietyAssist.com.au, Shyness and Social Anxiety Treatment Australia. SocialAnxietyInstitute.org, Social Anxiety Institute. Socialphobia.org, Social Anxiety Association. TheDepressionPortal.org, The Depression Portal. TheNADD.org, NADD. Postpartum Depression websites. Postpartum.net, Postpartum Support International. PostpartumDads.org, Postpartum Dads. PostpartumDepression.org, Postpartum Depression. PostpartumMen.com, Postpartum Men. PostpartumStress.com, Postpartum Stress Center. Chapter 3. Mental health websites at mindremakeproject.org/resources 2. ADHD and autism websites. Adhd.org, Attention Deficit Disorder Association. AdConsults.com, AdConsults. ADVA.net, ADDiva. ADHDmarriage.com, ADHD and Marriage. Autism.ie, Irish Society for Autism. Autism.org.uk, National Autistic Society. AutismCanada.org, Autism Canada. AutismNI.org, Autism Northern Ireland. AutismResearchCentre.com, Autism Research Centre, University of Cambridge. AutismSpeaks.org, Autism Speaks. AutismSpectrum.org.au, Autism Spectrum Australia. AutisticAdvocacy.org, Autistic Self-Advocacy Network. OnNetwork.org, Autistic Women and Non-Binary Network, ON. ChadD.org, Children and Adults with Attention Deficit/Hyperactivity Disorder. drhollowell.com, the Hollowell ADHD Centers. LivingWithAdd.com, Living with Add. NationalAutismCenter.org, National Autism Center. ScottishAutism.org, Scottish Autism. SpectrumNews.org, Spectrum. TotallyAdd.com, TotallyAdd. Schizophrenia and related disorders websites. BCSS.org, British Columbia Schizophrenia Society. CannabisAndPsychosis.ca, Cannabis and Psychosis. ChoicesInRecovery.com, Choices in Recovery. EarlyPsychosis.ca, Early Psychosis Intervention. EASAcommunity.org/index.php, Early Assessment and Support Alliance. InterVoiceOnline.org, Intervoice. LivingWithSchizoPhReniok.org, Living with Schizophrenia. med.stanford.edu/pepnet.html, pepnet. OneMind.org, OneMind. OpenTheDoors.com, Open the Doors. ParanoidThoughts.com, Paranoid Thoughts. PsychosisAustralia.com.au, Psychosis Australia Trust. PsychosisIreland.ie, Psychosis Ireland. PsychosisSucks.ca, Psychosis Sucks. SARDAE.org, Schizophrenia and Related Disorders Alliance of America. Schizophrenia.ca, Schizophrenia Society of Canada. Schizophrenia.com, schizophrenia.com. Schizophreneaandsubstanceuse.ca, schizophrenia and substance abuse. Schizophrenic.com, schizophrenic.com. Strong365.org, Strong365. Obsessive compulsive and related disorders websites. bddfoundation.org, Body Dysmorphic Disorder Foundation. BeyondOCD.org, Beyond OCD. bfrb.org/index.php, TLC Foundation for Body-Focused Repetitive Behaviors. CanadianBFRB.org, Canadian BFRB Support Network. IOCDF.org, International OCD Foundation. OCDAction.org.uk, OCD Action. OCDCanada.org, OCD Canada. OCDIreland.org, OCD Ireland. OCDUK.org, OCD UK. peaceofmind.com, Peace of Mind. Tourette.org, Tourette Association of America. Trichh.org, Trichotillomania Learning Center. Personality disorder websites. Behavioraltech.org, Behavioral Tech. BorderlineDisorders.com, BorderlineDisorders.com. BorderlinePersonalityDisorder.com, National Education Alliance for Borderline Personality Disorder. BPDCentral.com, BPD Central. BPDDemystified.com, Borderline Personality Disorder Demystified. BPDFamily.com, BPD Family. BPDFoundation.org.au, Australian BPD Foundation Limited. BPDGlobal.com, BPD Global. BPDRecovery.com, BPD Recovery. BPDWorld.org, BPD World. Emotions Matter BPD.org, Emotions Matter. FBPDA.org, Florida Borderline Personality Disorder Association. ISSBD.com, International Society for the Study of Personality Disorders. NEPTA.org, New England Personality Disorder Association. NYP.org/BPD Resource Center, Borderline Personality Disorder Resource Center. PDAN.org, Personality Disorders Awareness Network. Personalitydisorder.org.uk, Personality Disorder UK. ProjectAirStrategy.org/index.html, Project Air, a personality disorders strategy. Terra4BPD.org, Treatment and Research Advancements for Borderline Personality Disorder, Terra. Eating disorders websites. AEDweb.org/home, Academy for Eating Disorders. Adhd.org, National Association of Anorexia Nervosa and Associated Disorders. BeatEatingDisorders.org.uk, Beat Eating Disorders. Bodywise.ie, Bodywise, the Eating Disorders Association of Ireland. BreakBingeEating.com, Break Binge Eating. Butterfly.org.au, Butterfly, Australia. EatingDisorderHope.com, Eating Disorder Hope. EatingDisordersCoalition.org, Eating Disorders Coalition. EatingDisordersQueensland.org.au, Eating Disorders Queensland. Feast-ed.org, FEAST. InsideOutInstitute.org.au, Inside Out Institute for Eating Disorders, Australia. Jessie'sLegacy.com, Jessie's Legacy. MetaInc.org, Meta, Multi-Service Eating Disorders Association. Mirror-mirror.org, Mirror. NamedInc.org, National Association for Males with Eating Disorders. NationalEatingDisorders.org, National Eating Disorders Association. Nedc.com.au, National Eating Disorders Collaboration, Australia. NetIC.ca, National Eating Disorder Information Center. RecoverySpark.com, Recovery Spark. Something-fishy.org, Something Fishy. The Center for Mindful Eating.org, the Center for Mindful Eating. TheProjectHeal.org, Project Heal. Chapter 4. Mental health websites at mindremakeproject.org/resources. 3. Children and parenting websites. acf.hhs.gov, Administration for Children and Families. acf.hhs.gov/FYSB, Family and Youth Services Bureau. acf.hhs.gov/CB, Children's Bureau. anxietyintheclassroom.org, Anxiety in the Classroom. beaconhouse.org.uk/? section =welcome to beacon-house, Beacon House, UK. bpchildren.com, BP Children. childwelfare.gov, Child Welfare Information Gateway. cssb.org, Center for the Study of Social Policy. deltabravo.net/CMS, Separated Parenting Access and Resource Center. drugfree.org, Partnership for Drug-Free Kids. familyaware.org, Families for Depression Awareness. familyresourcetr.org, Family Resource Center. familysmart.ca, Family Smart. ffcmh.org, National Federation of Families for Children's Mental Health. fosteringresilience.com, Fostering Resilience. fsdp.org, Families for Sensible Drug Policy. handtohold.org, Hand to Hold. healthynativeyouth.org, Healthy Native Youth. heysigmund.com, Hey Sigmund. insurekidsnow.gov, Insure Kids Now. mindpeacecincinnati.com, Mindpeace for Children's Mental Health. momstell.org/index.php, momstell. nagc.org, National Association for Gifted Children. nationalfamilies.org, National Families in Action. safersociety.org, Safer Society Foundation. tnpc.com, National Parenting Center. uptoparents.org, Up to Parents. 0to3.org, 0 to 3. Adolescent and young adult websites. Adhd.org, Adolescent Health Working Group. adolescentwellness.org, Adolescent Wellness. biteback.org.au, Biteback. bornthisway.foundation, Born This Way Foundation. boystown.org/pages/default.aspx, Boystown. changetochill.org, Change to Chill. ilunanetwork.org, Iluna. foundrybc.ca, Foundry. glendon.org, Glendon Association. halfofus.com, Half of Us. hghw.org, Hardy Girls, Healthy Women. jack.org/home, jack.org. jedfoundation.org, Jed Foundation. loveislouder.com, Love is Louder. mindingourmind.org, Minding Your Mind. 1800runaway.org, National Runaway Safe Line. 800 Runaway. nativelove.niwrc.org, Native Love. joinonelove.org, One Love. origen.org.au, Origin. previousnet.ca, PREVnet. nationalsafeplace.org, Safe Place. safespot.org.uk, Safe Spot. SASMHA.org, South Asian Sexual and Mental Health Alliance. seizetheawkward.org, Seize the Awkward. sourcesofstrength.org, Sources of Strength. stepupprogram.org, Step Up. stevefund.org, Steve Fund. teenmentalhealth.org, teenmentalhealth.org. teensfindinghope.org, Teens Finding Hope. that'snotcool.com, That's Not Cool. ulifeline.org, ulifeline. wernative.worldzcuresystems.com, We Are Native. youngminds.org.uk, Young Minds, UK. yourlifeyourvoice.org, Your Life Your Voice. Student websites. activeminds.org, Active Minds. ACHA.org, American College Health Association. natstuco.org, National Student Council. nccsdonline.org, National Center for College Students with Disabilities. NEA.org, National Education Association. NSE.org, National Student Exchange. StudentClearinghouse.org, National Student Clearinghouse. StudentsAgainstDepression.org, Students Against Depression. TheCollegeExpo.org, National College Resources Foundation. ThenOSS.org, National Organization for Student Success. TransStudent.org, Trans Student Educational Resources. Bullying websites. AntiBullyingCenter.ie, National Anti-Bullying Research and Resource Center. ADHinline.org, a thin line. BullyingNoWay.gov.au, bullying. No way. BullyOnline.org/index.php, bully online. Cyberbullying.org, Cyberbullying Research Center. NCyberbullying.net, delete cyberbullying. NAPAB.org, National Association of People Against Bullying. National Bullying Helpline.co.uk, National Bullying Helpline UK. ncab.org.au, National Centre Against Bullying, Australia. NoBully.org, No Bully. Pacer.org/bullying, Pacers National Bullying Prevention Centre. StompOutBullying.org, Stomp Out Bullying. StopBullying.gov, StopBullying.gov. TheBullyProject.com, The Bully Project. Transpeople websites. Transactivists.org, GATE. Transequality.org, National Center for Transgender Equality. Translifeline.org, Trans Lifeline, 877-565-8860. Transstudent.org, Trans Student Educational Resources. iMatifa.org/index.html, Trans Youth Family Allies. TheTrevorProject.org, The Trevor Project. Diversity Hate websites. AAcomaProject.org, AAcoma Project. ACLU.org, ACLU. AllianceForBMOC.org, Alliance for Boys and Men of Color. ADL.org, Anti-Defamation League, ADL. Beam.community, Black Emotional Mental Health Collective, BEAM. BlackGirlsSmile.org, Black Girl Smile. BlackLivesMatter.com, Black Lives Matter. BorisLHensonFoundation.org, the Boris Lawrence Henson Foundation. OPEP.org/biomm, Brother, You're on My Mind. ACallToMen.org, A Call to Men. JoinCampaignZero.org, Campaign Zero. CAAAB.org, CAAF Organizing Asian Communities. CenterRacialJustice.org, Center for Racial Justice in Education. RSUOnline.ca/center-for-women-and-trans-people, Center for Women and Trans People, Canada. civilrightsproject.ukla.edu, Civil Rights Project. Communitiesagainst-hate.org, Communities Against Hate. DefineAmerican.com, Define America. EmbraceRace.org, Embrace Race. FurYoudCollective.org, Fireweed Collective. From PRIVileGhettoProgress.org, From Privilege to Progress. HealingCollectiveTrauma.com, Healing Collective Trauma. HRC.org, Human Rights Campaign. JWI.org, Jewish Women International, JWI. LTYFoundation.org, Lee Thompson Young Foundation. Lionheart.org, The Lionheart Foundation. TheLovelandFoundation.org, Loveland Foundation. Hermana.org, MANA, a national Latina organization. nccc.georgetown.edu/index.php, National Center for Cultural Competence. ncd.gov, National Council on Disability. northeast.net, National Network to Eliminate Disparities in Behavioral Health. nomas.org, National Organization for Men Against Sexism. nativeconnections.org, Native American Connections. oursellvesblack.com, ourselves black. PreventionInstitute.org, Prevention Institution. RaceForward.org, Race Forward. RacialEquityTools.org/home, Racial Equity Tools. TheRedRoad.org, The Red Road. TheToolkit.wixsite.com/toolkit, Rochester Racial Justice Toolkit. StopAAPIHate.org, Stop AAPI Hate. Psychiatry.org/psychiatrist/cultural-competency/education/stress-and-trauma, stress and trauma toolkit for treating historically marginalized populations. nyhc.si.edu/learn/talking-about-race, Talking About Race, National Museum of African American History and Culture. Tolerance.org, Teaching Tolerance. Whiteawake.org, White Awake. WhiteNonsenseRoundup.com, White Nonsense Roundup. WOCNinc.org, Women of Color Network.